at 6:30. Everybody will be told there'll be games going on, there'll be food going on, there'll be all this stuff going on out in the perimeter. The community groups will all be out there. They'll be running their tables and everything. And then at some point, the announcement will come. There'll be an MC kind of over the loudspeaker, and they'll announce that everybody comes to the bleachers. And at 6:15, we'll start herding everybody there. And then by 6:30, the actual program will begin. All right? So if you turn to the next page, this is the schedule for the day. 5 o'clock, volunteer registration. So it opens up at 5. That's just for you that you don't have to be there right at 5. But the youth registration opens up at 5:30. Now, the day of trainings, is there anybody who needs people there earlier? Because I didn't clarify this before the training. Day of, to get them trained up, ready to go. For example, registration, I don't know what time you want people to be there, at 5 or earlier?
Yeah, they could be there even as early as 4:30, 4:45, just to run through. I mean, I'll have time with these volunteers, but definitely before 5, because that's when we're going to open.
Okay. So anybody who is a registration volunteer, by 4:30, if you can get there, earlier the better. If you get there by 4:30, be there by 4:30, order 5 o'clock at the latest. It's going to be geared up and ready to go for the kids coming in. Field volunteers can come between 5 and 5:30, and we'll do a final training, a final kind of run through as you can see it out there on the field that particular day, around 5:30.
If anybody is scheduled to volunteer to help with setup, they probably should be there around 3.
3.
If you volunteered to help with setup, okay, and you want to come early, help set up, just let us know who you are. If you're going to be there early, if you know you can be, and that's the way you want to serve, then be there at 3. That's more of a volunteer basis. Yeah, there's a lot to set up. All right, and then at 6:30 the program begins. 7 o'clock, kids enter the field. The games and tables reopen, so the kids that enter the field will be the K through 8th grade. Then all the preschoolers and kindergartners and everybody else can go back, or not kindergartners, preschoolers and younger ones can all go back to the games and the food and all the community tables. So it's a family-friendly event. And then at 8 o'clock the stations will end and sealers will leave. And at that time parents can pick up kids. And then anybody who is able to, we have a major tear down and cleanup to do. And so anybody who's able to stay, we would love to have you stay and help us and just get all the trucks loaded up and get all the equipment loaded back in. And usually we can get it all wrapped up in the field by 8:30, 9 o'clock if we could all sort of pitch in and get that done. So, any questions on the schedule?
No, so there's no pre-registration then for anybody?
There's no pre-registration, nope.
Okay.
You have a diagram of the field in your packet there. I'm not going to try to go over it because I'll just say. So this is the bleachers. When you come in, this is Island Avenue right here. This is the road that runs along the field. So Brighton Road, if you're familiar with Brighton Road is at that side of the school over there, the farthest side. And when you come in on Brighton Road, parking is pretty much like fend for yourself, find a spot, do the best you can to go through, different areas. We can park on Brighton Road still, yeah. So we can park on either side of Brighton Road. Once that fills up, you can park up and down Island Avenue in different places or up into those neighborhoods. That'll get pretty full. You can park in the parking lot on the Island Avenue side of the field. Okay, there's a parking lot on this side of the school over here, which will fill up pretty quick. Once that's all filled, then it's a matter of kind of going into the different neighborhoods around. There's a gas station down this way with a neighborhood up behind it, and that's not too far. So if you want to park, if you go down Brighton Road a little more, there's a gas station at the intersection of Marshall and Brighton, and you park up behind there somewhere. And then everybody will enter the field down here. This is where the games, this is kind of behind the school, the games and the food and the community groups and everything are set up back there. whenever that's all ending, the bleachers that everybody's gonna go to, you'll see them, but they're just on one side of the field, so everybody will cluster into these bleachers on the 50-yard line. As you get the kids there, try to get everybody to kind of condense in. You'll have your colored sign and everything, so if you start rallying your age group, that's fine too, but this is, everybody's just kind of spread everywhere at this point. And then these are the corrals that we'll talk about, and how that works and everything. And I'll talk about that on the next field chart, and then the general setup of the field. So, one point of clarification is there is a parking lot on this side of the building, okay, like on the, if you're facing the school, okay, this is 2323 Brighton Road, you're facing the school, on the right side of the school there's a parking lot. And that parking lot is for the Pittsburgh Steelers to park in, so we do reserve spaces for them to drive their cars into, park there, and then they enter through that gym and come onto the field this way. So just be aware of that, I mean, there'll be somebody out there, some form of security t-shirt on telling them you can't park there, but don't push past and just try to ignore it. All right. So any questions on that field layout? Yeah, the next one here is just to give you a general overview of the field. We'll have a little bit of a field conversation for any field volunteers as we break out here. But this will just give you a general flow. Once we come from the bleachers, like I said, every kid will have a wristband, with these colors on it. So orange, black, blue, silver, red, yellow, pink, white. And so those wristbands will be for the different age groups. So kind of start with the rookies, meaning the youngest group, and work its way up to the oldest group, being the 8th graders. And so when kids come onto the field, they're going to be told to go find their corral, the area where their team is meeting. And the group leader will have a sign, and it'll be a big colorful sign, like a picket sign that they'll hold within inside of this corral. If you're on the field, you're a field volunteer at that time, one of the best things you can do is just help. It's kind of organized chaos, they're kind of just all streaming in, and depending on how big the group is, let's say we get 500 kids, that's a pretty massive flow, and so that's an extreme. Okay, we've had higher numbers like that, we've had lower numbers, and so just be prepared for anything, and just be prepared to try to get kids into their different colored areas. Once they are there, there's a chance where they then start the stations. When they start the stations, they'll send the different kids off to, so the white will go to B, the pink will go to A, and so on, as far as the different colored stations. What happens is all the rookies stay on this side of the field, okay? And all of the veterans, that's what we call younger kids, older kids will stay on this side of the field. That way they're not getting trampled by each other and everything. The kids stay within their age group. So for the K to second group, there's probably a kindergarten group, first grade group, and then 2 second grade groups or something like that. And same thing, third through 8th. And so it all depends on who and how many show up for each age group, how it's broken out exactly. But once they're on the field, they're rotating counterclockwise on both sides of the field, and it's music comes on about every 7 minutes. So it's about what it is. Every 7 minutes, music will come on, and it'll indicate that it's time to rotate to the next station. So that's very general, but I just want to give you an idea of how the field flows that day, so you understand that a little bit too. Any questions on that? Okay, inclement weather. We go rain or shine. What will happen is if there's thunderstorms and we just can't pull it off, we can't have the clinic outside, then the food and community groups will move indoors, and there will be a demonstration of some sort by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll demonstrate some different plays. They'll probably do some crowd interaction kind of stuff, do some giveaways, and so it won't be as fun. It won't be as significant, but it'll be what the Lord wants it happens because He controls the rain. So we're just going to trust that He wants to give us sun and believe, and I don't know that there's ever been a football clinic that hasn't called for rain. And since I've been here the past 9 years, we haven't had to cancel one. We've done some really interesting stuff indoors at times. But it's the Lord has always been glorified in it, and I believe that I believe that this year there's going to be great things in store. So just trust the Lord, but also be prayerful. You know, anytime you're planning outdoor stuff in the spring, all the baseball coaches know about this for sure. You always got to plan and prepare, but make sure you pray a lot too, and make adaptations to it too. So. All right, so next is volunteers. Go to the volunteer registration table to receive your t-shirt the day of. So the t-shirts are kind of still on their way, so you'll get your t-shirt the day of. You can carpool there if you have friends that are going, talk to each other. You can carpool, that'll obviously help with parking and everything. And that's the basic gist of it. Anybody have any questions about the football clinic? All right, what we're going to do this time is just for a few minutes, the field volunteers are going to stay here just a little bit longer. We're going to go over the field, the details of the field a little bit more. If you are with registration, then you're going to go with Miss Sarah down to room 1. And if you are doing food, if you're doing parking, if you're doing anything that's not field or registration, then you're dismissed to leave. Just make sure you sign that paper on your way in.
How do you know what you're doing?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Looking around the room, I would say we've put most of our current volunteers, all of our volunteers who are already doing things with kids, we've put you on the field because we need a certain amount of field volunteers. I know that Andrew has a list too, so I could see if Crystal has that list. But I believe you've all been assigned. Crystal, do you have the assignments for them?
Yes.
Would we be able to read those off so they know if they're a field volunteer or not?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet.